Debate 3 was opened by Jerry Caron, analyst at Current Analysis, and discussed how and whether the telcos can grab some share of the cloud market. He presented some data showing that telcos have a very small share of the market, or even minds, when it comes to cloud services. So he asked the panel if the telcos have any natural advantages, such as control of the network.
I think there's an opportunity for them to have that advantage. At the same time, there's a huge risk that they won't even be able to play even as a cloud carrier if they don't take the steps to, if you want to call it cloudify their network.
So what's the problem?
Probably a lot of different answers to that. It just depends on the market you're in. There's a lot of emerging markets out there still that are, still using some pretty old services and technologies and so on.
For Hongwen Zhang, the problem is slowness to respond, even though telcos are in a good position to deliver a good service.
Now, the second point is why they haven't done that before. And it's really related to some of the for example, Said mentioned the ways of the service providers takes a long time to provision something. And in particular, security services are very time sensitive. Right? So there are outbreaks comes in, and there are security events happening, and the traditional way of managing networking functions takes too long to adjust to a security posture. And that's why from this, the next wave of security innovations, especially empowering service providers for the revenue generating part, is this agility that offered with SDNs and NFVs that allow them to quickly roll out new security services handling the new security outbreaks.
Right.
I wouldn't count them out. And the reason I wouldn't count them out is because, and I think Syed hit on some of these. One is they have some very strong enterprise relationships. They sell not just services, but a lot of equipment to the enterprise customers. So they have long-standing relationships. And we haven't talked about that yet, but you can't discount those long-standing relationships. Secondly, we can talk about the cloud and all the excitement of, OpenFlow and OpenStack and OpenContrail and all that good stuff, but nothing works if the network doesn't work. And the experts in building highly secure, reliable networks ultimately are the carriers, and that is their ultimate weapon. And I think they know that with consistent outages you see at AWS and such, that's a weak point. And as more critical applications for those enterprises migrate onto the cloud, they're going to look for their trusted partners who have reliable, secure networks to place those on where they can feel comfortable as they transition those applications. So I think that's a reason why I wouldn't count them out. Now, are they moving as swiftly as some of the small, nimble guys? Probably not. But I think that they'll get there, and they have the infrastructure to do that and be successful.
Caron then asked if connectivity was really the important issue.
I think first and foremost, if you remember 15 years ago, the internet started. And the internet did not start with telcos. I mean, it was service providers, there were universities, research networks. The internet now is powered by the telcos, right? Effectively, we are all accessing the internet through a telco, right? Anybody here.
Wiesel went on to say that enterprises buy applications, not clouds, and in particular, virtual desktops, which are very latency sensitive.
That's why I think a service provider that sells enterprise services can actually talk about how they can do that seamless integration between the WAN services they're offering, the connectivity, and the actual virtualized resources.
Okay.
Caron then asked if the growth of hybrid cloud presents a better opportunity in the cloud for telcos.
Well, first of all, I think that definitely is an opportunity that is attractive to the telcos. And because they have traditionally been in providing ability to provide very reliable infrastructure services, so that, for example, that over usage of particular computing services can be offloaded into a public cloud for processing purposes. Now, the challenge for them is from our wedge network, the security vendor's point of view, is data privacy.
I think my answer is probably the same as the first question. Certainly, all the operators I talk to are moving in that direction. It's the hybrid world. Most believe that, especially with security issues and so on, and the need for deterministic connectivity, that the private cloud capability will be very important. One thing that that maybe gets lost here a little bit is that even if they weren't delivering cloud, they actually have to build out this capability anyway, just to deliver, build a converged network to deal with the mobile traffic issues and all of the other types of traffics that are collapsing onto a single platform. To be able to support the kind of services with low OpEx and so on, they have to do this anyway. So in many ways, what you're building for cloud is not dramatically different than what you're doing just to deliver, mainstream services.
And with that, debate 3 was wrapped.